Hey guys, okay, this is the video that I kept meaning to do for ages. So, I have this print here. Originally it was meant to be a kind of move controller holder, and I've made it chunky as hell, and it's actually really heavy. I mean, this is about, it's a good few, maybe 300-400 grams. Yeah, pretty thick. So you can see the layers, a couple of dodgy bits here. You can see the start of each layer there. And you can see obviously where it rounds up, and this was done at 0.3 millimeters. You can see the layer lines when it gets near the top as it goes around that slope. So what I wanted to do, and I mentioned this in a couple of my other videos, is test out some sandpaper. So this is PLA, and this silver is the one I got with the Prusa i3 Mark II. I'm not sure what branding that actually is, but I'll be able to find that out on their website, or you can have a look. And it's great PLA. This print here, not so much. But anyway, so I bought a whole pack of sandpaper from Amazon. You might be able to hear the printer in the background being ridiculously loud, as it usually is. Okay, so I've got 400. I've got 400 grit, that is, if that's actually what it's called. We have 400, 400, 600. Let's keep going. We've got 400, 600. God, we're kind of sticking together here. 600, 800, 1000, 1200. 1500. There, what's after 1500? Still 1500, 2000, 2500, and then finally 3000. So 3000, as you can see here, looks almost completely smooth. It actually feels pretty much smooth. It almost feels like rubber, like it's got a slight kind of grippiness to it, but it generally kind of feels smooth. So that will be right for the end if we even get to that. And 400, I'll turn it over, you can see how much that is. You can see all the little bits of glass, whatever they use there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start with the 400 grit. I'll sand as much as I can. What I'm going to do is just do one half and leave the other half as it is, and then we can compare and see how well it does. So this is quite a big shape, but not too much detail, so I can just give it a big rough sand and not have to try and get into any grooves. I won't bother about going right in there, but I'll try and do around this lip here. So yeah, I think I'll start with 400, then maybe go to 800, then 1200, and then maybe straight to 2000. I'm not sure, but we'll see how we do. Yeah, so I'm going to give 400 a go now. So I'll do that. I'll be back in a second once I've done that. Okay, so I've done about 15 minutes of sanding, and I mean, okay, it's hard to see. These bits here, which were bumps before, are completely gone. They went within a couple of minutes. Now they still show a mark, but you actually can't feel them at all. So here you can feel all the layers. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but here, actually, you can't feel layers at all. It actually feels completely smooth. Yet you can still, I guess, see them. These bits, there's no way I'm getting rid of those because there's just a huge kind of indent, which I think will go all the way through. And I sanded a lot on here, and you can actually, this is completely smooth to the touch, but you can still see it. It's definitely not as pronounced as here though, and I mean you can really feel that there, but not there. And I did some here, I can't feel any layers there, even though again you can see them, and there I can hugely feel them. So yeah, so it's 15 minutes of 400 grit. Hasn't really made much of a difference. I mean, the shine's pretty much the same and everything. It's got a bit of dust over it now. So what I'll do, I'll go with the probably 800 grit now. I'll give that a go for a little while, and then we'll see how we are after that, and then we'll carry on going. So I will be back in a bit. Okay, so I've just used the 800 grit, and again, you can't really see much difference. but you definitely can feel it. So if I do this, you can hear the layers on my fingernail. If I go this side, nothing, just smooth. See? You can hear the fingernail kind of gripping, but not actually the layer lines. And even though you can see them, you can still see them pretty much as much, maybe slightly less defined, but you definitely can't feel them at all. And again, up here, I mean, they're definitely less. So it looks like maybe on the curved surface is better for sanding, and just on the flat, it looks like maybe using primer and then just sanding that down, that may be the way to go. But anyway, we're at 800, so next I think I'm just going to go straight to maybe 1200, maybe 1500, do 1500 for a little while, and then 2000. So I'll see you in a bit after I've done the 1500. Okay, so next one was 1500. It's about 45 minutes of sanding, 15 minutes with each one. Again, visibly wise, doesn't look much difference, to be honest. Up here you can see a tiny bit of difference here. It's more just the feel, so it feels really smooth. And again, if I get my fingernail here, you can hear that. And if I put it here, nothing, just smooth, completely smooth, doesn't catch on anything. So it is making a difference. But visual wise, again, if anything, this bit looks better because it shines more. These obviously weren't the best layers, but I'm still not convinced right now. So I'm going to do one more at 2000, I think. Yeah, 2000 grit, just to kind of prove that it doesn't necessarily make a good looking effect, although it does make it smooth, and at least I know for future reference. Okay, so just 2000 left, and I'll see you in about 10-15 minutes. Okay, so the final one is done, and that was 2000 grit. And so what you're looking at is this bit completely smooth. Now, I mean, not just like you can't feel the lines as much, but it's absolutely one of the smoothest things I've felt. All the way up to here, I can't feel any of those layers. Can't feel any layers around there at all. Like, if I do that, you can't hear any layers on there. But if I do it there, you can hear them all there. You can't get rid of these blemishes where the layers have started, but you can't feel them at all. What else? So you can see the layer lines are slightly diminished on this side compared to here, but again, you can't feel them at all. So I think, and also the kind of glimmer, the light reflecting from the layers, if anything, looks better here than here, I think. If I look at it like that, so you can see, I think you might be able to see less of the layer lines slightly, but it's not good enough to make it worth the effort. So this is about an hour of sanding I've done with 400, 800, 1500 and 2000, or 800, 1200 and 2000. So yeah, I think if you're going to do it, add primer and sand it like that. Don't bother sanding just the PLA by itself unless you just want it to be smooth and don't care about necessarily having the best look of the finish afterwards. So at least I've done that now, and I know what to do in the future for it. It may be different with a different colour, but I think if I'm going to do it, I'll definitely do a primer first. But anyway, hope that's helped you out, and so you know what to do for the future with the sanding. Cheers for watching, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.